Now with Dr. Darian, who is taking a look at a new study that suggests that women who used hormone-releasing IUD were found to have a higher chance of developing breast cancer. Can you break this down for us?
Yeah, this is a pretty startling title if you see it. You see IUDs, breast cancer, a 40% increased risk. For me, I sat up and reviewed this paper in full to just get a better understanding and then consulted with my colleagues and friends who work in obstetrics and gynecology. And the way that I understand this is that 40% can be confusing. So here's how to understand it. In this study, which was done in Denmark, they found that women who use IUDs, which are intrauterine devices, these are devices that are in the uterus, deliver hormones, prevent pregnancy, that the use of IUDs was associated with a 40% increased risk of breast cancer. Now, how does that translate to real life? The average age of women in this study were in their 30s. The base risk for a woman in her 30s to develop breast cancer is around 0.5%. Now, that translates to about 1 out of every 200 people. A 40% increase translates to about 1.4 people out of every 200 people. So do you understand how that 40% can be confusing if you don't understand really how it applies to your life? Now, you weigh that risk, which might be unacceptable, and if that's the case, that's completely okay, but you have to weigh that risk against the benefit of IUDs, which in many cases help with things like heavy menstrual bleeding, which cause things like iron deficiency anemia. They help patients with endometriosis and life-altering diagnosis, and of course, they help prevent unwanted pregnancy, which although pregnancy is beautiful, it's not magical. It comes with its own risks and complications, and unfortunately requires good access to healthcare, which is not a reality to many women in this country.
How do these hormonal IUDs compare to, say, hormonal pills that people take for birth control?
Yeah, so that data adds to the long-known data about that small but important to acknowledge increased risk of all hormonal treatments. If you want other options, there are non-hormonal options, but they do come with their own risks that you have to discuss with your provider.
All right, Doc, thank you.